Hello, happy Wednesday. I am so excited to be here today. It is been a couple weeks, and so I am back. I hope that if you're on my newsletter or on my email list and you saw that my messaging coach, Brandon Lucero, released a new program built to convert. And I hope you enjoyed his free event last week. I know I got a ton out of it, and I am a client, and it's just unbelievable. So I hope that was beneficial to you. But we are back on our Wednesday live schedule. And today we're talking about why winging it is killing your business and what to do instead. Now, you would think that I am like one of those hardcore planners with the amount of time that I spend talking to women entrepreneurs about planning. But ironically, I'm really not. I'm not a huge planner. When I actually graduated from college, I worked for the United Way of Massachusetts Bay. Yay, Massachusetts. I was talking about it this morning to someone. And I worked in fundraising, development, all of that. And my boss was like, "What's your development plan?" And I would be like, "Oh, it's all up here." And she was like, "No, you have to write it down. Like, I need to know what it is. Like, I have to review it and all of that." And I've just never been like a huge long-term planner. Like, I can see the next 90 days in my head. And so I never really had a solid written out plan. But when I became an entrepreneur, I realized that that was good and bad for a couple different reasons. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So, hey, my name is Salen. I am your fun business coach. I mentor women entrepreneurs from burned out to balance with my unique blueprint called the Legacy Business System. This is the exact system that I used in my first franchise business to triple my business revenue, 4x my personal paycheck, and reduce my hours from 80 plus to just 16 weekly. I made over $17 million. My business generated over $17 million working 16 hours a week. So if I can do it, you can do it. There's nothing special about me other than the fact that I'm just regularly special like everyone else, just like you. And so what it is I realized having in business that you need to have a plan, but I don't think your plans need to be super long. And you need to have a way to determine that plan so you can communicate it to your team so they know what to focus on. So tomorrow I am hosting my quarterly Planning for Profit workshop. The link is in the description. I would love to have you there. We'll be live from 12 to 3. I started this practice when a neighboring franchise owner of mine back in 2012 said, "Hey, let's get together." There was 3 of us and plan out our next 90 days. And I was like, amazing. Like, I love working in 90-day increments. Let's do it, right? But again, I've never really written my plan down. It was just always like, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on for the next 90 days. But what I realized when I started working with her was there was a lot more that goes into determining what to focus on and where to laser in determining your plan. See, I always knew like what I was going to work on, what I was going to focus on for the next 90 days, like what I needed to do. But I was missing a key piece of the puzzle that she helped me to put there. And that was figuring out what to focus on because your previous period, so that could be a previous year, your previous quarter, gave you data to show you, oh, wow, in the last 90 days, this went really well, or this didn't go well. And so this is what to focus on. And so when we started doing this work, I realized that I wasn't, I was sort of winging it because I didn't have a plan based on data. I had a plan based on where I wanted to go, but it wasn't as well thought out as it could have been. And here's what happened. So, I had built $1 million business, and by the time 2012 came along, it was a multi-million-dollar business. But I was still working more than I wanted to. Didn't have all the pieces in place that I should have. My team still had some scatter, and I was getting ready to leave my business for 30 days straight in October of that year. And I was like, how am I going to be able to do this? Like, I got to get my ducks in a row a little bit better before I can leave this business for 30 days. And so when we started this planning practice, it was at the beginning of 2012, and she taught me that no, I don't necessarily have to write down my plan, because I was still kicking and screaming against that. But I needed to use data from the previous period in order to make better decisions on where to focus and where to put my time, energy, and money. And so what happened is I started using my zone of genius, planning in 90-day increments that I had done my entire career, and her zone of genius, which was looking at the data and making decisions. And I put them together, and I was like, oh my gosh. By the time October rolled around in 2012, I easily walked away from my business for 30 days straight without stressing about Wi-Fi, without being attached to my phone every day, and without having to work like all day on my laptop while I was gone. And it was only possible because I had put this plan in place. And so when I started coaching in January of 21, and then I came out with my signature program, the Legacy Business School, I said, what is a key fundamental that has allowed me to be so successful in business? And this quarterly planning was one of the things, right? Because when you know what's bringing in the majority of your revenue and you focus on doing more of that, then you can easily make more money working less. So if you've been someone that is so frustrated where it seems that work less, make more riddle, it seems like it's kind of like a riddle that you just can't figure out in your business, it's because you're missing this piece, right? This is based on Pareto's principle. It's based on some visioning and some manifesting. And this planning for a profit workshop brings everything that I know in business together in order for you to be able to put a plan in place so you can build a business that supports your dream lifestyle and allows you to work the hours that you want to work. Because here's the thing, you can put a plan in place that allows you to grow your business. But if you still have to work like 80 plus hours, like I was, like, I'm guessing that's probably not your goal, right? Most of the women entrepreneurs that I'm working with, they're working 50 plus hours in their week and they're not happy about it, right? And they've been doing this for so long that they're getting exhausted. Some of them are working way longer hours like I was, and they're kind of at their breaking point, right? They're mentally exhausted, they're fatigued, they're starting to get cranky. They sometimes are kind of like acting out like, I just don't give a crap anymore. And it's all because that burnout is setting in behind the scenes and they really don't know what to do to fix it. This is one of the first things that you can do. Now, during our Planning for Profit workshop tomorrow, and if you have not signed up yet and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have a plan for Q2 and this sounds amazing, you can sign up at www.passionpurpose wellnessposture.com/planning. And you can sign up right until like the last hour to be there. I will send you over the workbook, and you will have the workbook that we're going to walk through. Now, during this workshop, we're going to go through the 5 steps that are critical to planning out your next quarter. You're going to leave tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern with, if not your whole plan for Q2 done, if the majority of it done. Like maybe there's some little things, if you don't know offhand, you might need to go check afterwards. But you're going to have a clear idea of what you're going to do in Q2. Now, Q2, in my opinion, is a critical and one of the trickiest quarters. So Q1, we're like, new year, yay, like so much momentum, right? But then by the time this kind of time comes into place, like March, I see so many women feeling the burnout, losing their momentum, running around in circles, spinning their wheels, and just really lacking like clarity because Q1 has not panned out like they planned. And Q3 has a lot of the summer months, right? July, August, and then roll into fall. And so if you don't plan right now, then you're not going to set yourself up to have the most epic summer that you totally deserve and want. You could probably, no matter where you are in your business, set your summer up to work less if you really love summer, like so many of my clients do. If you focused in Q2 for 90 days, then you could have your summer set up to work less. So that way you can truly enjoy the amazingness that is out there with the weather and the vibe and everything else. But there's a couple key things that you need to do to make sure. And that's what we're going to do tomorrow. So to prepare for tomorrow, one of the key things in all planning sessions is you got to block the time off on your calendar. Like put your phone notifications, they go on silent, you put it to the side, and you just focus. A lot of people call this CEO time. This is when you're working on your business, like you're working on the vision planning and you're not working in your business in the daily operations. That's the difference between in and on. So this is CEO planning time where you can't be like answering stuff all day long. You really want to focus for 3 hours. The other thing that you want to do is, sometime over the next 24 hours while we're getting ready to work tomorrow, is you just kind of want to like take 10, 15 minutes and just say to yourself, like, what do I really want? Right? Like, if I could have the dream life and the dream business, what would that look like? We're going to go into this deeper tomorrow, but I want you to just kind of think about that. Like, what does success look like to you? And we're going to dive into that tomorrow to make sure that the plan that we put in place aligns with what you really want. Because if it doesn't, then you're going to be miserable and you're going to continue to be miserable. There's a little tough love for you. A lot of entrepreneurs think that planning, like they're so busy that they don't have time to stop and plan. But actually, stopping to plan and spending 3 hours tomorrow is going to probably turn into tenfold, where you'll be able to get so much more time and effort and money based upon what you put in tomorrow. Whenever I sit down and I do walk myself through this process and I follow that for 90 days, I'm like, wow, it is so powerful to go through these 5 steps and really kind of say to yourself, like, this is exactly what I needed to get the clarity to stop spinning my wheels and to get me further in my business. So if you've been experiencing any of that, then tomorrow is the day to join me and the other women entrepreneurs who have signed up. to come and be a part of this workshop. So again, if you'd like to join us tomorrow, I invite you. I run these on the the last Thursday of every quarter. So we'll be back again in June. Yes, it's recorded. Yes, you can watch the recording, but I can tell you that if you can't be there live, even if you can plug in for the first hour or two, you're going to get so much more out of it than watching the recording, just because we're busy and you're going to be like, okay, like I'll watch it another day, and then that day turns into weeks and all of that. So if you can't be there for the whole thing, try and be there for at least 2 hours, and really, plug in, be a part of the live, have fun. I'm going to be there answering your questions. So if you've ever wanted to do like a planning time and get support, this is your opportunity. So again, it is www.passionpurposeposture.com/planning. The link is in the description for you to sign up. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to pop them in the comments. I'll answer them. And then otherwise, I will see you tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern. It is a private Zoom. You have to sign up. It will not be streamed anywhere else. So you do need to sign up. But if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see all of you there tomorrow, and I'm excited. Have a good one. I will see you back here next week. Let's see. Next week, I will be back around the same time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.